There is an optimum financial condition that all of you can achieve. What does that mean? Optimum, the financial condition is a state of operation. Optimum means the best possible, based on your entire experience. There are 9 elements of your financial life, and every transaction you have, from the smallest expenditure to the largest, is going to fit into one of these 9 elements. So let's review exactly what they are and see how they fit into your life. Number 1, having a written financial plan. We've already gone over that. Number 2, policies and procedures. The problem with financial planning today is there's lack of training on basic financial planning principles to the consuming public. Yes, I know that there's all kinds of product information, and here's how a life insurance policy works and all that stuff. I'm talking about financial condition stuff. I haven't never really seen it to exist. So there are certain rules that you follow and certain things you do in sequence to get certain predictable results. You know it in your own professions. As a dentist, for example, you know when you do a crown, you got to follow certain rules, and you have to follow a certain procedure to get the ideal product for your client, your patient. It's the same thing with financial planning. But it's impossible, if you use the car analogy, for example, if I were to, how many of you have teenage kids? Okay, and let's say they have not done driver's ed, and you just sit there and say, okay, well, there's the gas pedal, and there's the steering wheel, and there's the key. Have fun. What kind of result do you think you're going to get? Probably not a desirable outcome. Well, we wonder why we're not getting desirable outcomes in financial planning, because all financial planning takes a certain amount of understanding of the rules and what to do and what not to do on behalf of you, the person who's implementing those rules and procedures for your own benefit. All advisors can do is guide you. Do you see what I mean? There's no way else. As a household CFO, the buck cannot be delegated. So you have to learn these policies and procedures, which is why I created this course. Business viability. The first order of business in any financial plan is to boom your business. Period. Always. Viable means that it grows, it makes a lot of income, it's very profitable, or you're having a great fun time expanding, and you're building it to sell for maximum value to somebody else. That's what viability means for everyone who owns their own small business, all across the spectrum. That's the first order of business when we start to look at the economic part. You got your plan, your roadmap, you got your policies, procedures, the rules of the road, then you got your business. That's your engine. Because here's the truth of the matter about financial planning. If you will make yourself wealthy. A financial advisor cannot do that for you. All a financial advisor can do is help you retain the value of what you created. And if he or she does that, then they're worth their salt. It's that simple. We're not magicians. We do not have inside information, all that kind of stuff. All we can do is help you because we have an insight into the complexity of the financial world. Income assurance. What does that mean? Remember when I said if you want to create an income that will handle your essential lifestyle needs guaranteed for your life, you have to create it? Well, your engine creates the income so you can take part of it and put it into creating a future income stream outside your business. That's a fundamental element for all private practice professionals. There are many reasons why. Number 5, get out of debt. Then stay out of debt. Then if you're going to borrow money, do it intelligently and have excellent credit. So we have to have a whole area on that. You notice at this point we've never talked about investments or insurance yet? There's a reason for that. Number 5, estate planning. How many of you have a current will or a trust? Good, good. That was rhetorical, but good. I'm glad you do. Those of you who don't, get one on the break. Okay? Estate planning is the rules of what you want to have happen to all your stuff, including your body, if you can't make that decision yourself. People got to know. The state has to know. And it's simple legal documents. And you know what the interesting part about it? That's the number one thing that's out. the worst scores on our questionnaires are always in the estate planning area. Because we're all young, we're going to live forever and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I can deal with that later. No. Something has to be handled. Number 6, tax optimization. We have to take a look at how to minimize our taxes today, but plan intelligently to predict what future taxes will be. Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you believe taxes in the future will be lower? No one has ever raised their hand. I'm waiting for someone to raise their hand because then I'll stop and have a discussion. But the point is that we know taxes are going to go up. So why in the world do we have, as a whole mass of people, putting all their money into retirement plans that are guaranteed to be taxed at the maximum amount when they try to pull it out? Yet, that is how most retirement planning is done. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, how about asset protection? Okay, we're talking about 89 different risks. There's different tools we use to protect assets. And we have to keep that in mind as well. And then finally, investment planning. Where is investments on the scale here? Last one, right? You'll recognize that financial planning is a sequence of actions to get a desirable outcome. You have to have a written plan first. Then you have to know your rules, know your procedures, boom your business, take a percentage of that, create a future income, get out of debt, put your will and all your estate planning in place, minimize your taxes, protect your assets, and then work to create greater returns on the assets you've created outside your business. But you see, how is it typically done? In the world of financial planning today, those of you who have gone to a financial advisor, what's the first question they ask you? Besides what your financial objectives are. Well, what assets do you have? So they go right in, starting at step number 9. Then they say, okay, these are your assets. Okay, I see your investments here. We can improve this, improve that. Now, how about insurance? Because insurance is an asset protection tool. Okay? So I'm talking about insurance. Has they ever talked to you, maybe to add value, we'll talk about taxes and estate planning. How many advisors have helped you get out of debt? How many advisors have helped you boom your business? You see what I mean? It's inverted. Again, it's an inversion of what's going on. That's why we do not have the results. And anytime you work a procedure in reverse order, what do you get? The opposite of what you're looking for. That's why it's abnormal for all of us to age 45 or older to not be worth $1 million and being debt-free. That's abnormal. That's weird. Do you see? But because we do not compare ourselves to the optimum or what it should be, we compare ourselves to who? Whom? Everyone else. And everyone else is in the same sinking ship we are. So it looks normal. Yet, looking from the outside, it's bizarre. You see? It stretches my logic. So I want to have you look at this from a point of view. Now, these 9 elements, each and of themselves, needs to be operating in its own ideal state. You can define for you what the perfect investment plan is, couldn't you? If you knew all the other elements? You can define the perfect asset protection plan, the perfect estate plan, the perfect debt and credit management program. You can envision that, couldn't you? The ideal. So then we compare what we're doing to that ideal to strive to that ideal. Once we achieve the ideal across the board, guess what? You got it handled. You win the game.